folks, I'm Vasel. Welcome back to Look Back, where I take a look at reviews that I've done a year, 5 years, and 10 years ago, and tell you what I think about those games now. So let's take a look at the games I looked at 1 year ago this week. First of all, we have Gas Out, which is a game I bought at Target. Just wondering if you press it and it makes fart noises, and that's the funniest part of the game. The rest of the game is not good at all. But if you want a device that makes fart noises, there you go. Nip Nop, or Knip Knop, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. You're just pressing a button trying to make a ball shoot through a hole. There's other games that do this better. Basket is an older version. This one is really just a pile of junk put together, unfortunately. The Cfall. All right. Now, Cfall was my most anticipated game of 2016 by a mile. A big, long, epic legacy game built from the ground up. There's a lot of things in Cfall I do like. There's a lot of concepts in Cfall I do like. But after giving it a very, very hearty shake, we just didn't really like it. I don't think it's a horrible game, but really doesn't do it for me, unfortunately. There was wild swings of luck, but essentially it just was boring, which is really bad for a legacy game. Then we have Ticket to Ride Rails and Sails, another game that I was hoping to like. I like every Ticket to Ride game, but not this one. Played multiple times trying to see what I was doing wrong. This one just, again, has too much wild swings of luck. It doubles the time for Ticket to Ride and adds to the luck, and I don't think that really works in the long run. Then we have the Great Dinosaur Rush. This is a game in which you are building bones, trying to match different things and score points, little sticks. It's a simple game, but I really like the theming of it, the Great Dinosaur Rush. Then we have Brink. This is a balancing game. There's a lot of good balancing games and bad ones. I really enjoyed this one as a ball. Is basically, it reminds me of those guys who balance on a can type things. So that was a lot of fun. Then we have Pandemic Reign of Cthulhu. This is a version of Pandemic, which I think is really well put together. It feels tighter. I don't know if I like it as much as actual Pandemic, but it does bring the Cthulhu theme out pretty well. Bloodborne. This is a game based on a video game series which I really have no interest in, but I really enjoyed this game from Eric Lang. It's just this kind of everyone's playing cards and you're trying to outplay the other person. It's like rock, paper, scissors, but expand it more, using weapons and stuff to mess with other people. You're trying to work cooperatively to destroy monsters, but if you mess everybody up on the way in, why not? Really, really enjoy this game. Then Vast. Vast is one of the most unique games that come out last year, where you can be different parts of a dragon, a knight, a thief, or even the cave itself. Each one feels very different. I like how they all fit together. And then finally, Clank. Clank, now if you notice, my rating here for Clank is an 8.5, but it's really edging close to a 9. Clank just gets better and better each time I play it. I like the deck building genre. I like adding that genre to moving around through a dungeon and grabbing things, adding a push your luck aspect to it. Just a phenomenally put together game. Really happy with this one. 5 years ago was a really good week of games. First, the lowest rated game I looked at that week was Agricola, All Creatures Great and Small, the 2-player version of Agricola, and that's a great game. It's a little game about penning in the animals. It's all about the animal part of Agricola, which I liked. Atlantis Rising, this one's dropped slightly because there's just so many good cooperative games out there. This one is a cooperative game with dice as you're trying to keep Atlantis from sinking, and it is constantly under pressure. This one is actually going to be reprinted soon from another company. Got the rights from Z-Man, so we'll see what that one does to it. Sherlock Mercenary Capital Offensive. I really enjoyed this one. It's based on a comic strip, Sherlock Mercenary. And in this game, you are working together and fighting off aliens and things. The combat system is really well done. In fact, they stuck it in the Sentinels of the Multiverse board game later on because it was such a cool combat system. And the silliness there pervades. I think the name and the theme didn't hook up with board gamers, but it was a really nice dungeon crawly type game, even if it was sci-fi. Seasons. This game is just one that I'm constantly talking about and enjoying. This dice drafting game as you try to get these different gems and change them in to get points with the cards. Really well put together game, still my collection. And Mage Wars. It's kind of weird how it's been now 5 years since I looked at Mage Wars, and you can see that it's dropped from being one of my top 10 games. Still a game I like. The complexity and length of the game have hurt it in the long run. When I'm bringing a game out to the table, I'm not always sure I want to bring out Mage Wars. Mage Wars Academy itself I like better than this Mage Wars, which is now called Mage Wars Arena, because I like the simpler, faster version of it. But still a really neat game where you weren't shuffling your cards, but you had them in a spell book and you could cast anyone you want as long as you could afford it. 10 years ago, I took a look at Tacklebox. This was a game for fishermen, you know, kind of trying to get into that genre. Too much memory, too much luck. It was a really bad game. 3 of a Crime. This is a game that teaches kids logic. I found that this one has really done well by me in the years. Again, this rating is reflecting on how well it works with kids, and in that case, it does a really good job. And then finally, Age of Empires 3. 10 years now since Glenn Drover brought this game through Eagle Games, which is a completely different company now, but this game is still amazing. Still in my collection, a great worker placement / area control game. So those are the games that I reviewed a year, 5 years, and 10 years ago. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and this has been Look Back.